This is the Tombigbee Tales, and I'm your host, Shannon Evans. I write about a small town in northeast Mississippi called Columbus. And sometimes I write about the rest of the state. This episode is about Riverview, a Greek revival masterpiece of the Old South, and how the vision began. The story of Columbus begins with Native American roots, where Chickasaw and Choctaw peoples called the area Possum Town. In 1540, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto became the first European to document this lush region while searching for the legendary city of gold, El Dorado. The area remained largely untouched by European settlers until the late 1700s when William Cooper established a trading post nearby. In 1817, a pivotal moment occurred when Thomas built a small log cabin near what would become downtown Columbus. The settlement grew slowly until 1819, 1820, when the U.S. Army constructed a military road, also called Andrew Jackson's Highway, connecting New Orleans to Nashville, passing through the heart of the future city. In 1821, the settlement was officially chartered as Columbus, leaving behind its Possum Town nickname. Formally founded in 1821, Columbus became a strategic location due to its position on the Tombigbee River bluffs. It had access to the fertile Black Belt prairie soil and was the third largest river port in Mississippi. It also was on that military road. The 1820s brought significant developments, including the arrival of the first steamboat, the cotton plant, in 1922, and education took root with the establishment of Franklin Academy, the state's first free public school. The period from 1835 to 1860 marked Columbus's golden age. The rich Black Belt prairie soil, the rich Black Belt prairie soil attracted wealthy planters from the East Coast who built grand mansions throughout the city. By the 1860s, Columbus was booming with a population of 3,500, filled with churches and schools and thriving businesses, including 37 manufacturing establishments. The 1830s and 40s had brought unprecedented change to Mississippi, where Native American tribes once lived. Now, vast cotton plantations now stretched across the fertile soil. The state's population exploded nearly 200% as settlers poured in seeking fortune in the cotton boom. Columbus exemplified this transformation. From a frontier trading post of just under 2,000 people in 1830, it grew into a sophisticated town of over 8,000 by 1850. Its location on the river made it ideal for shipping cotton to Mobile and New Orleans. Elegant hotels, churches, and academies lined the streets. The sound of hammers echoed as fine homes rose on every hill. The 1830s marked a transformative period in Mississippi's history. Following the treaties with the Choctaw and Chickasaw nations in the 1820s, over 20 million acres became available for settlement. This led to a 175% population increase between 1830 and 1840, and a 197% increase in an enslaved population. Total population growth in Mississippi jumped from 136,621 to 791,305 between 1830 and 1860. In the warm spring of 1847, Colonel Charles McLaran stood on a hill overlooking the bustling river town of Columbus, Mississippi. This successful cotton planter and businessman had a vision to build the grandest home north of Natchez. As steamboats churned past on the Tombigbee River below, McLaran could already see in his mind the majestic columns and sweeping verandas of his future mansion. The site he chose was perfect, a commanding hilltop with views extending for miles across the river valley. The location would catch cooling breezes in summer and allow the mansion to be seen from approaching riverboats, making it a landmark of wealth and refinement. McLaran spared no expense in creating his masterpiece. He hired James Lull, a talented architect from Vermont, known for his classical designs. Lull had studied the latest architectural pattern books and even traveled to see ancient temples in Europe. The finest craftsmen were recruited from across America. master bricklayers from Philadelphia, woodworkers from Boston, plasterers trained in Italy, marble workers from New York. Construction took 6 years and cost over $75,000, the equivalent to $2.5 million today. Every brick was hand fired on site. Timbers came from virgin pine forests, and marble was shipped up the river from Italy. The exterior embodied perfect Greek revival symmetry. 8 massive iconic columns across the front, each 30 feet tall. A wide central hallway ran from front to back, and there were identical double parlors flanking each side. It was decorated floor to ceiling with windows with delicate muntins and elaborate cornices and dental molding. Inside, the oval spiral staircase was an engineering marvel, appearing to float without visible support. The plasterwork featured deep relief medallions, acanthus leaf designs, fruit and flower garlands, Greek key patterns, and portrait roundels. The mansion incorporated several innovative features, something that was unique for its time: a sophisticated ventilation system with adjustable vents, speaking tubes that connected key rooms, gas lighting throughout, indoor plumbing on all floors, a mechanical dumbwaiter system, and fire-resistant construction techniques. The expandable dining room used an ingenious pulley system to raise a 1,000-pound wooden panel into the ceiling. Double parlors could be joined via pocket doors that were nearly 12 feet tall. Daily life in the mansion centered around strict social protocols: morning calls between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., formal dinners at precisely 3 p.m., evening gatherings in the parlors, seasonal balls and parties. The service areas were equally well planned for the house in order to maintain this lifestyle. There was a large kitchen with the latest equipment, specialized storage rooms, separate servant stairs, and well-organized laundry facilities, as well as an ice house and a root cellar. The November 1852 opening celebration of the home lasted 2 full days. Over 500 guests attended. An orchestra played from New Orleans. Elaborate decorations filled every room, and champagne flowed freely. A feast was prepared by French chefs, and the dancing reportedly continued until dawn. The local newspaper devoted 3 full columns to describe the unprecedented magnificence of the event. Though McLaran's time in the mansion was brief, Riverview survived. It was carefully restored in the 1890s, and then it was listed on the National Register